recently some videos have come out of RSC, and it just proves that if the right people start putting out videos, the community can grow. So I just wanted to share how I do things, and maybe it can help you to make videos too. So we're going to go over what programs I use, how I set things up, and just a general gist of recording RuneScape Classic. Because it is so different. It's a small windowed game that existed before 16:9 monitors, and doing certain things will help your video look a little bit better. So for audio, I record with Reaper. You can use Audacity. I like Reaper a little bit better. It has a modern UI compared to Audacity. It's just terrible. And then I use OBS. And then usually I just have a window capture, so we can bring up Vanilla here, and that's generally the size. I wanted to do this in full screen so you could see how small my window usually is, and then when I blow it up, it'll fill the full screen and still have a pretty good sized like UI. I like that. Like a lot of old RuneScape Classic videos, I just wish I could have seen people's stats. So it's just cool to see that. Or if you're using chat, the chat appears larger. And also, if someone's watching on mobile and you're zoomed out that far, it's kind of annoying. I mean, it doesn't look very good either. So I try to zoom in quite a bit, and it makes things a little bit more detailed. I mean, maybe not that far. I don't know. Use your best judgment. I guess if you're like running, if you're in the wilderness, you may want like that far out. Or if there's a lot of people in an event, it makes sense. Let's do a little skilling while I'm making this video. But yeah, let's go over the settings for my window capture here. I think we may have to add a new one to go into that. Okay, this I usually leave by default. Maybe not. Oh, okay, settings. Okay, then we go to output. This is what we want to focus on the most. Streaming I'm not going to look at. Recording is what we want. And then you want to make sure that if you have a video card, OBS is recognizing it and using it. So I'm using NVIDIA NVENC encoding, and you want to make sure that that's enabled if you have a video card for sure. And then I found this by watching a Minecraft how-to. Change your rate control to CQP instead of variable bitrate and constant bitrate, I think that is. I don't even know what CQP means, but it looks better. And then I didn't notice any kind of quality improvements beyond 20. So you could be like 15 to 20 would be nice. The larger this number is, the higher your file size is. So it's sort of you sort of hit a wall at 20, I felt. And then I set this to slowest, best quality, and that's it. That's all I do with OBS. But we want to get rid of that. Yeah, trash it. Trash that Mafka. Yeah. So, yeah, keep in mind, I think that's the main point. A lot of people on YouTube are watching on a phone or something small, so it's nice to be blown up and big like that. But that's the gist of it. I think let's go back to the main screen. I set things up like a screenshot to a hotkey. Say I'm doing something and there's a bug, I just Alt Q and I have a screenshot. So there's a couple different programs that I recommend for screenshots too. Like I use Spectacle. I've used Flameshot before. I've used Greenshot before. I really liked Greenshot when I was on Windows. That's a good program to just set to a hotkey and just boom. If a bug happens, boom, you have it. If you, I don't know, make a trade, you want to take a picture of it. I don't really know. If some stalker is following you, just boom. And then I have, let's see, I usually make my videos with Kdenlive. It's nothing special. But then I got to show you this, though. If I use Kdenlive, I usually use the dark theme, but I haven't used it. I haven't used this program in a while, and I forgot how to set it up. But the only plugin that I use is Timeline, Add Effect. It's deprecated because it's old. Sharpen. And then I'll put sharpen on my video track, and I'll set it to like 200 or 400, like just enough to barely notice it. It goes all the way to plus 1,000, but just a little bit of sharpening will help the text, I've found. And then I usually render it 1080p 60. I mean, I go kind of crazy on it, but yeah, for an old game, for a 20-plus-year-old game, just to try to make it look better, or as it appears as you're playing it. That was the biggest hurdle, I think, when I first started making videos, was to try to get that damn thing to look decent, and bring out all the detail. Is there anything else that I wanted to mention? I don't think that's it. I honestly, yeah, sharpening your image. I guess I could talk about audio a little bit. Like in Reaper, you wanna, okay, I'm using a rack-mounted compressor, and most people do not have a Revive Audio modified compressor. So, what would your basic plugins would be like? Am I recording the full screen? I just want to make sure. No, I'm not. Okay. So when you have Reaper in Audacity, I think they have the same built-in plugins. You would want to add a compressor. Then you want to set it to like generally a 4 to 1 ratio, which would be like there. It's barely noticeable if you set it right there. Then you just kind of bring in your threshold down, and then you'll see that red happening. That's the compression of the audio. Audio compression. Yeah, there you go. You can change the knee size, which would be like the abruptiveness of the compressor hitting the audio. And then there's another one on here I want to show. It's called Event Horizon Limiter. This would be a Reaper exclusive, but it is basically like a brick wall limiter, and this is good for like pushing your audio loud, and not getting a really bad clipping sound. But yeah, that's a good one. And then JS, the 12 band, I like that one. RBJ 12, yeah, that's a good like 12 band EQ. Usually a lot of microphones are muddy. You might want to take out like the 250, or like just not take them out all the way, but maybe bump them down a little. Or like 3K might give you a little bit of like crystally sharpness in your voice, and also 12K is also good for like crispiness. But that's about the basics of it. I think Audacity has generally the same stock plugins. It's been a damn minute since I opened up Audacity. But yeah, that's about how I record. And if you want to do 2 windows, it's basically the same thing, but you do them in a square. Like say you want to record your main and your alt, you just put them together and kind of eyeball it. It's kind of tough to do that. Yeah, and then any like thumbnails I've made in Gimp. So all of the programs that I use are basically free. Reaper is like proprietary, but basically free. But yeah, I didn't pay for any of that. So that's how to make a RuneScape video for free too. And the same general rule applies to Windows 10 or Windows 11. I don't know if Windows 11 has a better screenshot tool yet. God, they better, because Windows 10 was horrible. So I recommend Greenshot. That is a great program for Windows in taking screenshots. So I hope that helped. It was 10 minutes. I'm like a professional YouTuber at this point. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, be sure to ask. I try to do this because I'd love to see more of you recording and starting your own channels and getting the server out there. No matter where you play, vanilla, preservation, doesn't matter. I just like to see more people being active on YouTube and spreading the word. So that was all. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.